Hi guys, it's Blackie. Okay, first up today, happy birthday to Dan Lutz, my brother. Brother, I wish I was there. I wish we were on the camping somewhere, fishing for white bass or doing something. We'll get together one of these days. But I just wanted you to know, happy birthday. So, now on to today's topic. I recently had a subscriber of mine sent me a video, and we were talking about him and his family got sick, and he didn't understand why they got sick. And so we were talk about what happened. So let me give you in a nutshell what happened. The young man and his wife, and they've got two small children, were doing a big camp out, and they had butchered a chicken. Okay, they had procured it live, brought it out there, processed the chicken. Now he had took his knife and he had butchered the chicken. After getting done cutting the chicken up, he stuck his knife back into his sheath. They then put the clean bird into a Dutch oven, put stuff in it, put it on the fire, started cooking it. Not realizing how long that's going to take to fully cook, they then began setting up the rest of the meal, and he pulled out his knife and he went to cutting up vegetables and stuff into a salad. Okay, you already figured out where we're going here. The salad and everything got prepared and ready to go, and the meat wasn't done. And so they just put a towel over the big old bowl of salad on the table. And about an hour or so later, finally the meat was done, kind of burnt, but done. And they sat down to eat, and everybody got sick. And what they couldn't understand is the chicken was fully cooked. How did we get sick? That's how. By cutting up and having chicken blood on the knife and not cleaning the knife and then putting it back in the sheath. You've transferred that chicken blood into this leather sheath. That sheath is now contaminated. And every time, even if you wipe the knife clean when you stick it back in, you're exposing it to more of the chicken blood. So therefore, you've got a problem. So, cutting up the vegetables, putting them in a salad to be eaten raw and not cooked, and then letting it sit over time for that stuff to have time to grow and spawn. That's what caused it. The weak link was the knife. Now, we don't think about this a lot when we're using our knives in our field. We're kind of prone to use them and stick them back up. But if you cut up anything bloody, you have to clean your knife. I don't mean just wipe it off. I mean you gotta clean it. A favorite method of mine is boiling water. Just simply stick the blade in there and stir in the boiling water for like 30 seconds. Make sure it's a good rolling boil. That'll kill anything on that blade. But you never put a bloody knife back in the sheath for that reason, because you're transferring to the sheath. And once the sheath is contaminated, you really got a problem. Because what can I do to a leather sheath? I can't pour boiling water in it. I'll ruin the sheath. Liquid hand sanitizer? What's that going to do to the leather? You see my point. So we got to think through some of these processes. When we're doing cooking, if it's raw, we treat it as contaminated till it's cooked. Anything it touches needs to be either burned, disposed of, or cleaned. Okay? If you've got a cutting board that you're carrying with you, mark one side for meat and one side for vegetables to kind of keep that from happening. I've seen people, not in campouts, but I've seen people put a cutting board up there and cut up hunks of raw chicken to put in a stew, and then on the same board go to cutting up vegetables to go into something else. If everything you cut on that board is going to be cooked, well, that's cleaning it. But if anything is going to be raw, that is a contamination problem. And that's something our ancestors didn't know about so much. They didn't understand germs, but we do. And so that's something we got to think through in our processes. If something is contaminated, we have to treat it as contaminated. Now, there was an old adage that my grandfather passed down to me. You never holstered a gun without reloading it. That went all the way back to the Civil War days. And so if you shot at a rabbit or whatever, you reloaded. Then you put the gun back in the holster. You didn't reload, you didn't holster a gun that only had, you shot 4 times, there's only, 2 shots left. As you shot, you reloaded. When you used your knife to cut up something bloody, you cleaned it before you put it back in a sheath. It's just one of them things that it's common sense when you think about it. But at the same time, we don't think about it. We're enjoying the moment. I always pull my knife out and I put my knife back. And I've been guilty of it too. I've done it. And suffered from it because of it. So, my little tip or trick for today is, think about that. If it's bloody, it's got to be cleaned. If it's contaminated, it's got to be cleaned before it goes back in the sheath. Lay it down, stick it in the log, whatever, but don't put it back in the sheath until it's clean. Now, luckily, my subscribers that got sick are okay now. It's something that happened back last year, actually. They sent me the video. But they've been kind of scared of cooking chicken in a Dutch oven ever since. And it wasn't that they cooked chicken. The chicken was fine. It was the contamination. So, hello, Amarillo. Hello. Oh, Yeller Cat is out here now. So, till next time, guys, I'm Blackie. Wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.